Right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome once again to The Truth with Ben Jokes, your #1 political talk show. Breaking news: Governor Sheriff Omorewore of Delta State officially announced his defection from the PDP to the APC. Atiku's running mate in the 2023 presidential election, Ifeanyi Okowa, who is also a former governor of Delta State, has decamped from the PDP to the APC. And of course, they both decamped to the APC because EFCC is on their necks because of the monies they stole from Delta State. Now, the first thing I have to say about this is that the PDP is no longer a political party, let alone an opposition party. Anyone who is in the PDP as we speak that desires a better Nigeria should just go and queue behind Peter Obi, because Obi is the only opposition left in this country. The northern politicians and elites who want Tinubu out of power must make their position clear in the next 2 to 3 months. The only candidate who will not sell out to Tinubu is Obi. There is no need to mince words. Even Atiku cannot be trusted at this point. And secondly, I will say, no matter how many thieves decamp to the APC, Tinubu will continue to fail in office and Nigerians will continue to suffer under him. That is one thing they cannot change. He can buy over politicians, but he will never be able to legitimately get the highest number of votes in a presidential election in Nigeria. So they can keep playing the politics, but they can't change the results. They remain failures. Now, let's get to the top story. The top story, of course, heralds Tinubu's massive failure. While Bat is busy bribing politicians to help him rig 2027, terrorists are busy sacking his gullible supporters from their homes. The Borgu and Duruma communities in Kwara State are fully APC communities, but as we speak, terrorists have told them in broad daylight to vacate their communities or die. In broad daylight, Tinubu is planning a state capture, but the Fulanis might capture him with the state. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. In this video, the Benue State governor made it clear that the attackers are right there in Benue State. They are not hiding, and the government can very well apprehend them if they want to. I'll explain my point after the video.
That we are now heavily under attacks. As I speak, we have 6 local governments that are under attacks. And these include Apagatu, Logo, Ukum, Katsina Ala, and then Kwande. What we experience is the armed headers coming. Before now, they could just come with their herds. The Fulanis will come with their herds, and then to the isolated local governments, move through, and then do the attacks. The people settle down. What we had somewhat less killings. What we have as a new face of these attacks is the fact that the people who are attacking us now, plus the headers, armed headers, are not just coming with any herds at all. They don't come with cows. Rather, they come fully armed with their AK-47 and AK-49. They come in alone, wear one dress, and they can stay in the bushes as long as they can until they do the attacks, and then they disappear. After a week or two, then they come in now, there are folks coming now to occupy those spaces. If you go to Katsina local government, in most part of Ukum local government, this is the occupation that is made. If you now come to West local government, it's even worse. Now, here's the thing. These attacks are deliberate. You move to Zone C now, where I speak about Apa Agatu. The attacks were also very vehement. Of late, Otukpo local government is also included. But what we experience in Otukpo is the kidnapping, and then with very large sums of ransom attached to that and all that. These attacks are very deliberate. These are calculated. They come in, attack, fully with the intent of killing and then occupation.
You heard him. He said in a place like Katsina Ala local government, terrorists would come in with guns, eliminate members of a community, and they will leave. Then 2 weeks later, their fellow Fulanis will come and occupy that community. It means as we speak, the Fulanis are right there. They are right there in those communities, but the government has refused to apprehend them. So all the lies about we don't know where the attackers are, they are coming in and going, those are lies. The people they replace the community members with are there as we speak. And the governor just confirmed the testimonies of some of the Benue indigenes that I have spoken with. They said the reason those in IDPs cannot be released to return to their communities is not just because there is insurgency going on. It is because Fulanis have already taken over those communities. So to release over 1 million people from IDP camps back to their communities will be starting a real war, because Fulani families now dwell in their homes. And the more sinister implication here is that if 1 million Benue indigenes have been displaced, then a similar number of Fulanis have been shipped in to occupy their deserted communities. Meaning, we have had about 1 million new Fulanis enter Benue State in the last few years. And security forces have allowed them to take over lands belonging to the natives. They conquer, they occupy. They conquer, they occupy. That is what they are doing in Benue. And if it continues, one day the governor of Benue State will be a Fulani man. And for the first time, I want to say I am getting satisfied with the utterances of the Benue State Governor, ex-Reverend Father Alia. He has dumped the narrative that was handed to him by the APC that the killings in his state were as a result of farmers' herders' clash. He is now saying exactly what it is. The Fulanis are being aided by the APC-led federal government to take over Benue State. What the people of Benue and the entire Nigeria will do with this information that is clearly in the public space now is entirely up to us. As much as I can, online and offline, I will play my part with my voice and my resources to try to get Nigerians to get rid of this evil cult called the APC. However this ends, some of us will be able to say we tried. Now, let us look at the top story. Terrorists have told members of the Duruma village and Burgu community in Kwara State to vacate their community or get killed. This is a community that fully supports the APC. We are not saying they deserve to die because they supported APC. What we are saying is that there are consequences for evil behavior. They were warned in an audio communique, and if you still don't agree that Tinubu has lost control of the security in Nigeria, listen to how the papers reported this. Exclusive. New terrorist group Mahmuda issues threats to Kwara communities, orders residents to flee or face death. Sahara reporters. A newly identified terrorist group calling itself Mahmuda has issued a threat to communities in Kwara State, warning of an impending violent attack on residents of Duruma village and the entire Burgu kingdom. Sahara reporters can exclusively report. This latest warning was sent in an audio message to residents of Duruma village by the group's leader. The message, recorded in Hausa, was obtained by Sahara reporters on Monday morning through frightened locals who said they received it via mobile communication channels. In the chilling recording, the group's leader condemned the formation of local vigilante units and accused the emir of Duruma and his people of instigating the crisis. In a direct threat to the residents, he warned them to evacuate the community or face death. And whoever knows they are not ready for the battle should immediately pack their properties and leave the community. We heard that the people of Duruma are now recruiting local vigilantes. Whoever allowed their child to join the vigilantes or contributed money for buying bullets has shown that they are fighting us, and they should prepare for us as well. Whoever doesn't want to fight us should pack their properties and leave. Stop going to the market and, in fact, relocate from the entire kingdom. Otherwise, we will kill everyone we see. The speaker also sternly warned smugglers operating in the region accusing them of aiding security efforts. And for the smugglers, you people should look for alternative roads. If not, we will kill everyone we see on the road. And if you think we are lying when preparing to pass, come prepared with your white burial garment, the voice said. This comes barely 2 days after Sahara reporters reported that the terrorist group launched an attack on Duruma village in the Barutin local government area of Kwara State. The incident occurred on Friday evening. Multiple sources told Sahara reporters it was learned that on arrival at the village on motorcycles, members of the group started shooting indiscriminately. The terrorists also burnt a vehicle and some motorcycles belonging to a local vigilante group in the community. Wow. Did you feel the audacity in their utterances? They know that they are in charge, and the people of those communities will take that audio communique to the nearest police station. They might even take it to the biggest police station in the local government. They might go as far as taking it to the state capital, Ilorin. And I can assure you that nothing, absolutely nothing, will be done. They will eventually have to vacate those communities if they don't want to die. This thing has happened severally across Nigeria, not only in Kwara State. I told you about the retired man who wanted to go back to his village in Kogi State, and he reported that Fulanis had, inundated their forests. And it began slowly by the Fulanis conquering the owners of the communities and then taking over the communities the same way the Benue State governor described that they were doing in Benue. That is what they are now doing in Kwara State. They are doing it in parts of Ondo State, parts of Osun State. They want to attempt it in Enugu. Somebody still thinks we are exaggerating when we call this a collapse. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Tony Aja says, yet we claim to have a government and security agencies. That is it. That claim is rubbish because the number one responsibility of any government is to protect lives and properties. You need to define the sovereignty. You need to stamp your territorial integrity. You must be able to say that this place belongs to the federal government of Nigeria and no other authority supersedes ours here. In Kwara State, you can't say that. In Zamfara, you can't say that. In Sokoto, the entire Northwest, you can't say that. Go to many parts of Southwest, Ondo or Osun, you cannot say that. Terrorists are the ones calling the shot. So what are we talking about saying we have a government here? And Sheikh here says the cabals have found new natural resources to loot and profit from in secret in Kwara State now. This country is on a highway to destruction at these rates. That is it. Maybe they have found something. That is why they are now paying so much attention to Kwara State. But I don't think it's really about finding something. Their aim is to dominate the entire state. Anybody who has not seen that yet is not looking well. And Emeka here says the audacity of these guys is something else. The audacity is born out of a knowledge that they have that they are working with the government of the day. It sounds funny, it sounds ridiculous and unbelievable, but what do you think is happening in Benue State as described by the governor? When terrorists come and they sack the people in a community, and 2 weeks later, they will bring Fulani people to come and occupy that community. Soldiers will come there, smile and go back. What do we call that? Is that not aiding and abetting? And they kept doing that again and again and again until IDP camps in Benue State became some of the widest in Nigeria. And now we have over 1 million people internally displaced in Benue State. This same method of Fulanis conquering their communities, their villages, and bringing in their own people to come and stay. And the government is just watching. So there is no way anybody can convince me or any reasonable human being that the government of the day is not complicit in this insecurity in Nigeria. But who are the people that suffer? Who are the people that bear the brunt? It is you and I. And I keep saying it, luckily for us, We are a country, a well-populated country, over 200 million people. God is never going to drop from heaven to come and fight our battles for us. He has given us good population to be able to stand up to this microscopic few that are bringing calamity upon Nigeria day in, day out. But sentiments have separated us. Sentiments of tribe and religion have separated us. If Nigerians are tired of suffering, they should say no, put their foot down and unite and say we must take our country back. It is possible. It is actually not as difficult as it sounds. What it requires is a simple walk in humility and love. This hatred between tribes and religions in Nigeria is killing us. If we can cast that aside and unite, we will easily fix this nation. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una na I dey here, so don't go away.